With a common denominator.
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Let's talk about something important. Put that coffee down.
I'm not here to waste your time.
Where else you gonna have this much fun?
You the man. Todd Father.
Show me the money.
What I've been doing, had to triple my bag. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Yeah. Had to triple my bag.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, it's no trick to make a lot of money. All you want is to make a lot of money.
All right, good afternoon. Coming on here by myself. We got Bitcoin down 3,800, Ethereum down 221. I just realized our smoke and mirrors intro is not playing, so I got to try to find that clip again and jump on that. I'm going to give a few seconds here, see if anybody shows up. Broadcasting to Twitter and Facebook as well. On my end, looks like everything is cool. We're going to go ahead and jump in here, make this short and sweet. As you know, I've been a little bit leaning bearish after my overbought reading up there around the 119.7, 120 area. What's up, Big House? Coin Ghost, appreciate it. So we're getting a pretty sharp sell-off here. I talked about I'd like to see 119.5 taken out. Maybe that give us a little short-term spring, etc. So at that point, you know, for Elliott Wave, I'd look at a 1 up, and this is a wave 2 down. So that's what I'd be looking for. You can see our technometer has reset to 45, almost neutral. So yeah, I saw that Oracle. They're slapping that, bring a little selling in on everything. Technometer neutral. If we bring up, let's roll down here and get this Ethereum. Ethereum, I talked about coming back down to like 43.50 or so. Technometer here. Loading a little bit slow. Technometer 46.52, so not much to show there. I mean, again, I mentioned top of the trading range would be a good place for it to turn lower at 47, 4,800. It's done that. Going back to the Bitcoin chart, as I mentioned yesterday, overbought readings on the tech has called most of these recent highs, and it was a little early on the last one. And we're right back nearing those levels. So it did show some strength going past overbought levels for 3 or 4 days, not pulling back. I'd wanted an oversold technometer to get us back in the game. Again, let's see this 119.4 level. Let's see that taken out and see how everything looks at that time. While we're talking crypto, I'm going to jump right in. Some of these crypto related. SharpLink, I mentioned yesterday. Same type of thing. Let's expand that out so we can look at it. The dotted lines are just alarms that I have set, so disregard them. They don't mean anything else. They're not support resistance. I was talking about maybe a pullback down there around 1750. I think I mentioned 1716 would be a nice low to be taken out. We're getting close to doing that. Bitmine, I talked about a pullback. I think I was talking somewhere around 55. It's getting slapped today, so that one's coming down to what we'd like. The next one would be Zone, Clean Core. That one opened up there at 250, now trading 210 after touching almost $2. So that one also getting slapped. Let's go to coin. Nick gave a sell on this a few days ago. Again, these charts, in my stock Discord, I run a momentum scan. And purple is buys, gold is sells. Green and red is really my markings where I'm buying and selling. Oversold technometer readings, etc. So coin, I'm going to say it's still a little bit lower. MicroStrategy. Momentum gave a buy on that the other day, but I mentioned I was a seller. I did some selling up there at 351. We're trading 331. That definitely is the weak sister, but one to watch. Another one that momentum scan was on was Core Scientific. And you can see here, small profits being long around $16 is trading $17.08. So a little bit of profits there. I'll take some viewer requests here in just a second. You can throw them in there if you got any. I want to go over TLT. I did a video yesterday. TLT, as I've been talking about, major triangle down here at the bottoms. Of course, it's been for months. I'm afraid that could be ending. And as I showed in my video, if you zoom in, we had negative divergence at the recent high 3 or 4 days ago. So I'm watching that to see if that high there at 89.75 or so keeps the rally intact that we're having today. But I'm going to be watching this market looking for trending lower in the TLT, higher interest rates. What's up, Rocky? We'll go to individual stocks here in a little bit. For now, let's stay on crypto, which is really how this channel blew up in 2016. Talking about Ripple at half a penny. Ethereum was $14, I think, when we were starting to do that. Here's Cardano, ADA. I have some different, I haven't updated this chart in ages. Let me move these things aside so I can get to what I want to look at. I'm not sure exactly how to count out LA Wave on some of this, so we're just going to keep it moving. You can see, as I've shown on many charts, we have these divergences between price and volume. So really coming into that low, you can see price hitting higher lows, volume hitting new lows. That is friendly. We got close to that oversold technometer there late September, as we did on many altcoins. Hopefully this is a one up and an ABC correction, as I'm saying, for Ethereum, Bitcoin, etc. And then we would have higher to go. Let's see if we can get all season really going here. We'll come back to Poet here in a minute. TAO, same type of thing. We was looking for 1-2-1-2s. I got a feeling probably move these things out of the way for now, but this could possibly be what's going on here for a TAO. Everything's just getting pushed over for time. Those are some old Elliott Wave markings that Elliott Wave had given on some of these. So again, I think possibly same type of thing, not as big a divergence, but you can see even here, nice divergence between price and volume. So if these recent lows hold there from late September, I think a lot of these altcoins are going to look pretty good. So SOL. Same type of thing. You will see I had on SOL a much lower count. I'm not sure of that, so let's disregard that at the moment. Volume wasn't selling off here on SOL, so you can take that as good or bad, but I don't really have any good divergences. So I would say anything back above 240 and that 255 high would be bullish. Otherwise, let's see how the low down there at 190 holds up. Again, no real buy-sell divergence on SOL. Floki. Talked about this one yesterday. This, Doji, etc. They've got the bullish divergences. Got the oversold technometer. We were overbought. We're back down to 46.44. I talked about having a breakdown here to that 0.0008 level, 9 level. Looks like we're going to get that. Just a nice little ABC down. XRP a little bit weaker here last few days. Not acting near as well. I know Peter Brandt, I talked about this being a descending triangle, and if we break that 270 level, I think it shoots down to 220. I'm not sure of that, but again, new lows in volume. Price still trying to hold up, not acting as well here, but it did have a strong rally, consolidating those gains. So, I would have sold XRP there a week ago on the spurt up to $3, and look to buy it back here somewhere soon. And maybe it'll give you a scare. Maybe we'll spring that 270 level. I'm not sure. Useless USD. Not much to add on that from my Wyckoff indicators. The OP force and technometer is available at TradingView for not very much monthly. Not much to add on useless, big house. Let's roll to some of the stocks I've been mentioning in the stock Discord at wyckoffsmi.com. We got ASTS, that one, new recovery high today. You can see, if you know anything about Wyckoff markings, that was a pretty classic one. And we had the oversold technometer. ATRC not getting going here. That one could be, I might take a small loss on there and cut that one. CORT doing well. That one gave a nice oversold technometer. Also new lows, volume, higher lows price. Everybody knows I'm looking for that at all times. That's showing accumulation. Guidant Health, not doing too bad after a jump and a backup. IONQ, new highs for the move. Oversold readings definitely are buy points. I gave that one on the spring down to 35.36. That's more than doubled. LNT, not doing too bad after a jump and a backup. MJ, Cannabis, sold that one the other day at 37.90 or so. Neighbors, make a new high this morning out of this accumulation range. Same type of thing. Divergence, oversold technometers. I will go back to Litecoin for sure. NNE was the one I gave just 5 trading sessions, down around 38, 39. That one I'd mentioned this morning when it was at 60. Maybe we could get to 65. I'll probably cut that one loose. It did come back down to 55. We're setting at 56.37. Holding up pretty well considering many of these momentum stocks are getting clocked today. Sherwin-Williams, that one, I'm going to cut that one as well with the loss if it doesn't turn up here shortly. TMO, I gave a sell this morning right around these levels, 541, 543. That was a quick gainer from 470. I'm going to look to buy that back on some weakness. You do have earnings coming up on the 22nd. Winnebago not doing much. Same type of thing. I'm going to cut that one loose. Didn't really have a good buy set up. I just thought it might hold in. That one I'll probably cut loose for small losses as well. Let's go back to crypto. Litecoin. Usually Litecoin has the big run up that normally puts in short-term tops. I talked about having quite a bit of sideways here. I talked about the divergences between volume and price. Let's throw those back in. They're almost hitting a new low today. So you could, I mean, Litecoin does look explosive. So definitely that's one to watch. A break up there of that 124.50 level or so could get things going. I'm going to put another one down below here. So again, break of 124 takes you 135, takes you to 140, takes you to 148. So that could be get going, probably not into cycle yet. Again, these are some Elliott wave that I had posted on here. These would extend out much higher. These are probably 1-2-1-2s, but again, I'm not going to get into that. I use the Wyckoff indicators, but I will throw some Elliott wave markings on crypto, not really on stocks. A few more momentum stocks. I've got a momentum scan I use in the stock Discord. Here's some of the names recently that are long. DULL I'm looking at. That one had a pretty big pullback. Holding up well here. That's the one that might turn up. I think Marvel is one that I'm trying to get on a pullback. You can see all my alarms here. Would love to see something down around 82 on that. It did top out today, so we've got to watch that one. And then a bunch of the other high flyers. These are all momentum buys. That I'll be looking at. What's up, Wizard and TNT? TTD again is starting to come alive. I mentioned that one the other day. Momentum scan took a large loss on that after earnings, but caught it back again there around 48, 49. That one might be all right. Let me run a quick disclaimer for my regulators.
There is a high degree of risk involved in trading stocks and cryptocurrencies. Our thoughts and ideas are for entertainment purposes only. Please consult your personal advisor or do your own research. Past results are not indicative of future returns.
Again, that's all I got. Let's go back to Bitcoin real quick, 121.3. Again, I was selling a little early a few days ago, but I think 119.5 is a price level to look at. Be anxious to see the technometer if we do get that. Ethereum down 207 at 44.77. Tesla, I think, is one still that you want to watch. Momentum and myself got long that at 330. Sold it at 418. I mentioned the other day I wanted to buy a break of that. It only gave it to me for like 10 minutes. So I'm not re-long Tesla, but I think that's one. Even in a poor stock market environment, it might do well. So we shall see. Emerging markets, I've been talking about that since the April lows, that they will lead the U.S., I think, for the next 5 to 10 years. Breaking out of a huge sideways triangle. Would love to have that one come down to 49.50 to add on. You see technometer is oversold. So that one just doesn't stop. So I think emerging markets is a place to be. Gold and silver, still trying to get a top. I'm not sure we can get that done. We had that triangle on GLD. So I do think that's a fifth wave. But no signs of a top yet on gold and silver. Looks like crude just turned around. Got a client that purchased that this morning. That looks like a nice close here. See if that thing can turn up. XLE hit my alarm again this morning. On the quick break. Pretty big divergence on XLE between price and volume. Watching that one for some type of low, but kind of choppy. Not sure what to do there. That is all I got. No more questions. I'm going to be out of here. I will go to the crypto bubbles real quick. You can see here BNB up 4%. Nick had a couple 10 bangers in the last couple days on 2 different coins on BNB. So patreon.com/learncrypto. That would have paid for a few months of the channel if you'd have caught a couple of those today. Cake up 5.8%. ZEC down 12%. Not much else. That's Nick on there talking about PALU and SZN is the 2 that he was on. There's PALU. You can see how easy that would have been for a 10 banger. Let me go back to my chart. There's the PALU chart, which you can't hardly even see. Let's do a 4-hour. There's the 4-hour chart. Nick caught that one. Obviously, that was a big one. I'm not going to have a good chart on the SZN, I don't believe. $6 to 8 million market cap went to 100 milli this morning. That's crazy numbers. Again, there's the Bitcoin 4-hour chart. We'd love to see this previous low at 119.5 taken out. Let's see if that happens. Could be a 1-2, and we're ready for a smart move to 150 on Bitcoin. So we'll watch that. Patreon.com/learncrypto. WyckoffSMI.com. Pro Trader Stock Discord. We do manage assets in crypto with trading APIs. Stocks at Charles Schwab. That's all I got. Nick and I will probably be here tomorrow. All right. Peace out.